Hey there. So, welcome to part two of Acing Your First Talk. Acing Your First Talk. In the first part, we talked about working on your mindset. And there were three things we said. We said that one of the things you must learn and understand is that nervousness is natural. In fact, there's a thin line between being nervous and being excited. Who knows? You might be excited and not nervous. Nervousness is natural, even for the greatest. We also said that another thing that can help you work on your mind is understanding that the audience is behind you. Most often than not, people actually want you to do well in your talk and they don't want you to do horrible. They actually want you to do well. So they're behind you. In a way, they are cheering you on. So have that at the back of your mind and encourage yourself. Thirdly, focus on your message. Your message is more important than your mess, and that allows you to take the tension away from yourself and focus on your message. In other words, also focusing on your audience because your audience needs to get your message. All right, so that's for the first part. In today, we're going to talk about something a little bit different: preparation. One of the things that can help you ace your talk anywhere is how prepared you are. Okay, so you need to be prepared. It's very important to ace your preparation. Now, they said perfect, some people said practice makes perfect, some people said perfect practice makes perfect. The idea is that you need to practice, practice, practice. And I think there's different levels of practicing. First of all, you need to work on your material. What material are you going to deliver? You need to be as familiar as possible with your material. And remember this: the more familiar, the less fear. The more familiar, the less fear. The more prepared you are, the less fear you have about whatever it is you're doing. So practice, practice, practice. First of all, be familiar, be very familiar with your material, whatever it is you're working on. What's the subject? Anticipate the questions that are going to be asked about the subject. Just think about it. Ask people questions. Practice in front of people. Just make sure you're familiar, heavily familiar with your material. The second is that you need to also be familiar with your audience. What audience are you going to speak to? Are they old? Are they young? Are they professionals? Are they regular people? Be very familiar with your audience because the different audiences require different styles of speaking. You're not going to give professional jargon to people that don't understand professional jargon. You're not going to use huge, big words in front of little children. So you need to be familiar with your audience. And remember, the more familiar, the less fear. So ask questions. Find out the audience you're speaking to. And a lot of times, when you know the audience you're going to speak to, it makes you less nervous, makes you easier. It makes it easier for you to prepare. Finally, be familiar with your environment. Where are you going to present on? What's the stage like? What are the tools that you're going to use? Is it the PowerPoint? Is it the laptop? Is it the pointer? Be familiar with these things: the air conditioning, the lighting, the what they call it, the microphone, the projector system, whatever technical things you're going to use. Be very familiar with them because the more familiar, the less fear. You have to test them to be sure that they are working. Try to make sure and have backups or whatever you need. So the more familiar you are with all these things around you, whether it's the tools you're going to use, the environment that you're going to use, the stage, etc., and of course the material that you're going to speak about, the less fear you're going to have. So practice, practice, practice. Another thing about practicing, I got this from Vin Gang. Vin Gang is a communicator, communication coach. He's fantastic. He's on Instagram, I think on social media generally, but Instagram and YouTube. You find his videos. Vin, Vinhgiang. He's an Australian, I think, but of Asian descent. He's fantastic. So he says you should practice this way. All right, get this. Practice using an electronic device, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, a camera that allows you to record whatever it is that you're practicing with. Now, people used to say stand in front of a mirror. Some people even say don't do that. But the thing about mirrors is that you just get instant feedback. You're looking and you're getting it. But with a camera, you can record it and come back later and look at it. A lot of us can do better if we can just assess ourselves. And I know a lot of people are nervous about looking at themselves and giving feedback to themselves. But if you can actually get through that nervousness, or rather be comfortable with being uncomfortable, you can do very well. So what do? Record yourself and then watch it. Just watch it and just take some notes. Okay, I could do better here, I could do better here, I could do better here, and so on and so forth. Another aspect of this is that you turn the volume down and just look at yourself, look at your body language. So you're going to assess not just the way you spoke, but the way you look when you're speaking, your body language, the use of your hands and everything, your facial expressions. You're going to be able to give yourself feedback on that. What's the next thing? You leave the volume on, but then you don't look at the video. You can turn back or just listening to what you're saying. So you're going to hear your voice. You're going to hear the vocal variety in your voice. You're going to hear how you sound, and you're going to be able to assess: do I sound great? Can I sound better? Oh, am I flat? Am I interesting? Is my voice carrying some authenticity? Am I passionate? You get all these things when you can just look away from the video and just listen. The last one is something that not everybody can get, but it's very possible if you can work it out, because there are tools in the internet you can use this. You can get the transcript, the subtitles, if you like, of your speaking, so you can find out your words, look at your words, how great are those words that you use. So it's not the video, it's not the audio now, it's just the exact words that you use. Could you improve on the words? There are certain things that you keep saying, like you could work on those things and fix them up. So practice, 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 practice using the technical device. The more familiar, the less fear. Be familiar with everything: your material, your audience, the environment, your tools, and I'm sure you're going to do great. So these are the things you can do also to ace your first talk. See you in the next video. Thank you.